Hello, everyone. We are here at GuestyVal in Mexico City. Very excited to be here. Woo! We are off to a great start this morning, and Michael and I are joined by Guesty's COO and President, Vered. She just came off of her opening conversation, so we snagged her to kind of get some industry insights and her take on what's going on in the industry for the rest of the year. How are you doing today, Vered?
Wonderful. Love Mexico City. Love the vibe. Love the fact that it's our biggest event ever. So beautiful.
Amazing. Well, you talked about a lot of the trends and things that are pushing the industry and all of your clients this year. And so one of the big trends that you talked about was inflation and how, customers are dealing with that. How are you seeing your clients handle that going forward?
Well, I think we moved to this era of, first of all, when interest rates went up, people said, okay, it's a thing. It shall pass. I'll just continue to do what I'm doing. And more people understand that they need to focus on operational efficiency and excellence and not just on the growth. Mm-hmm. They need to balance that out. They need to balance risks. So we see much more investment in that and not just in the revenue growth per se.
Sure. And I think you are obviously a PMS. Making the PMS change is often a painful one. I know I did that 4 times in my time at Romy. But you guys have been growing quickly, so obviously people are making that change. What are you seeing as the main drivers of these new customers coming over to Guesty?
Well, I think they understand that the industry is moving and you need to be with a PMS that is able to cover new technologies emerging, new trends in the industry, AI trends that we're seeing. And of course, people understand that they need to do more with less. And by the right adoption of technology, they can really right-size their teams, their efforts, their efficiencies. So all that is coming into play. And we've seen great success with customers coming over to Guesty's and seeing real growth following that because they manage distribution better, they manage communication better, they follow up on reviews better, and so on and so forth.
Beautiful. One of the slides that you had talked about certifications, badging, trust, understanding how guests are actually booking and making reservations. I thought that was super interesting. Obviously, reviews is top of the list. We dive into that a little bit more. Has this really changed or evolved? And also at the beginning, we talked about how a single negative review can lead to a huge detriment. So where do we go as an industry between those relying on reviews, but also a single bad one can actually tank a property or a listing?
So I think it's about being very proactive. The reason we have Reviews AI, for example, is so you can really monitor guest sentiment on the fly, respond to those quickly. A lot of what we recommend to customers is just be there, be active. Don't wait for them to leave. While they're still during their stay, communicate, make sure that if something is wrong, compensate or even overcompensate them. Okay, give them that. Think of a restaurant you go to and you had a bad experience and the food was too cold or too hot or they were late. If they then surprise you with free desserts, free wine, all of a sudden it changes, right? So even if you had that bad experience for a customer, for a guest, use that to change that experience on the fly. And while we do monitoring for reviews and guest sentiment, automatically you can really act quickly on that.
And understand what the guests are looking for. For example, like us coming from the US, I'm not at altitude, she's not at altitude. Coming to Mexico City, there's altitude, right?
Oh my God, it almost killed me now with my voice, yeah.
It'd be lovely to have showing up to your Airbnb with water bottles, right? Something simple that guests are going to need, especially ones that aren't local staying here. And another thing we've talked about on the show before, kind of the level set is having coffee. Just a simple thing that guests aren't going to go out and buy on the way in and want as soon as they wake up. So it's, to your point, the little things that you can do to make the stay a little bit more elevated can actually go a long way.
That's true, but it's also about personalization, okay? Water bottles, coffee, all that is great. But the fact that you make the guests feel special, make them that, extra special thing of hey, I understand you're celebrating a birthday. We decided to surprise you with a birthday cake. Or I understand you have a huge family gathering. Do you need help with finding restaurant reservations for your group? So the fact that you actually know and care makes a lot of difference in how guests would react also in the review. Because, and I mentioned it in my talk, a lot of times they say, four is good, right? Four is nice. They don't understand that it's terrible for you.
4 is terrible.
Yeah, but they say four is good, right? When you get a grade, four, like 4 out of 5. And for the 5, a lot of them would require that extra mile that you take for them.
Yeah, I think you and Airbnb have this great dashboard so you can view which listings are maybe at risk. I think that is excellent for operators because you might not know how close you are to maybe being suspended or that your reviews are slipping. Do you see the other OTAs are going to mimic that? Or can you say if you know, or should they be doing something along those lines?
Well, I can't say, but I do hope they will. I think it's very important. We talked about reviews and constant monitoring. You have to check the health of your listings all the time through the OTAs, but also through your PMS and through the reviews activities to make sure you're not missing out, because one listing can ruin it for you, definitely.
Yep. On to the fun part and a couple fun questions, Vered. And this is a question I used to ask Jamie Lane at AirDNA until he actually bought a vacation home. What would be the one market, if you could buy a vacation home, assuming you don't already have one, anywhere in the world, where would you want to buy?
Okay, I have to preamble that and say that I would probably not buy one because I love to experience places, right? And I want to be in so many places that I haven't been to yet. And having a vacation rental in one location is a little limiting
Ties
because
you
then
in.
then
Yeah.
you'll have to be around that. But I think probably Italy.
Okay.
Italy, because I just love it's so diverse, and on the other hand, it's so warm and hospitable. The food, the atmosphere, the weather, the people, there's something very special
Say no
about
more.
it.
I get it.
And they have great coffee, by the way. You can't go wrong with coffee in Italy.
Coffee, food, ocean, it's got it all. I get it. Last question. What is one thing you're keeping an eye on in the industry? And it could be software, technology, it could be IPOs, it could be changes that the OTAs are making, or it could be macro environmental trends.
Wow, there are many things. It's difficult to choose one. But I would definitely say that how AI is really shifting a lot of areas in technology in the way our both operators and guests are booking and reviewing and choosing where to go and how to enjoy their vacations. I think that we'll see more and more of that. And I spoke about the fact that you're no longer marketing to people, you're actually marketing to AI agents.
Yep.
And that's a huge shift. So you really have to think how to present yourself, how to be discoverable. Should you completely change your marketing strategy? And guests, I think, will see a lot of changes in what they expect because they'll expect those automated, quick, but very personal
Personalized.
responses on the
Yeah.
other hand. And AI can help you get there. So we're investing a lot in that in the coming year.
I love that. I think AI is going to take us a long way. It's an interesting point that you have to actually market to the AI bots now instead of the human. So is that more done in the text, or is that photos still, or is it a combination of the two?
Well, it's a combination of, I think it's really going to be interesting to see how it will impact OTAs, because that's a big thing too. Because AI agents not necessarily go to OTAs. They might, but not necessarily. So I think we'll see a lot of change in the tools you use, in the distribution methods and your distribution strategy as a result of AI. And photos are going to be extra important, I believe.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. Well, Vered, thank you for your time. Thank you for hosting us here. It is a beautiful city. Every venue we've been to so far has been a 10 out of 10. And so I'm super excited for tonight.
It's
and
going
the
to be
closing party,
amazing.
of course.
Thank you so much for being